My dear friends, hi all. Sesame seeds are very good fat sources. So in this video I'm gonna show you a different way of eating them. Honestly, I don't know if there's anyone else who do this on the planet, because I've never seen it either in real life or on the internet. Plus I'll give you a very short and simple green beans recipe and we'll talk a little bit. Please keep following. Classy recipes, cashing health from the inside. Address of enough unbalanced man. Center of wise and conscious women. Onat Oktaş TV. Let's start with the green beans recipe. This recipe is quite plain. You see it on the table. After washing and cleaning the green beans, plus removing the strings if needed, we are adding tomatoes, onions, garlics and carrots to the green beans. Here I did it by adding 2.5 tomatoes, roughly half kilogram of carrots, 1 medium-sized onion and 2 medium-sized garlics per approximately half kilogram of green beans. Of course, if you don't want to add any of these ingredients, don't add it. Some people don't like carrots, for example. If you don't want to add carrots, don't add them. It's up to you. I did it this way. Look, there is no salt and fat when cooking. I'm adding them later. Why? First, with this way, it's being suitable for everyone. Second, after you get used to doing this way, I think it tastes better. Of course, I'm not eating this completely fat and salt free. I'm not talking about that. I'm adding these ingredients when eating, not cooking. As you see, now I'm adding salt here. Iodized or non-iodized, or Himalayan or sea salt, or rock salt. You can use whichever you want. It's up to your need or preference. If you are using iodized salt, you can get the maximum efficiency from the iodine content with this way. Plus, your needs may change each day. It depends on your life tempo. Maybe you wanna eat salt-free one day, or you wanna eat much more salt than usual. So, it gives you a freedom. That's an advantage of it. If there are many people who are eating this, it makes an easiness for everyone. Maybe there is a kidney patient who should eat salt-free, or maybe there is a sporter who needs to consume much more salt than a sedentary person at a post-workout meal. So we can have both persons on the same table with this way. These are some of the targets when it comes to adding salt and fat after cooking or just before eating. Look, in the middle of 4 plates, you see the ground sesame seeds. If you don't have any health problems or specific food allergies, of course you can prefer any brand for the sesame seeds. But celiac patients should read the labels and warnings on the packets. We have a few brands known as gluten-free here. So celiacs should be careful about the situation. If you don't have any health problems, of course, any brand is okay. In this video, I'm gonna grind these sesame seeds directly. I'm gonna use this coffee grinder for the process. This model is suitable for grinding coffee, spices, and seeds like this. You can use any brand's machine with the same ability for this process. I opened the sesame seeds package and poured into the grinder as you see here. This machine can grind 250 grams of sesame seeds in 2 times. This process takes quite short time. 30 seconds is more than enough for it. As you see, the sesame seeds became grinded. I'm filling them to a bowl. I'm pressing it down a little bit, so 2 bowls can be enough. And here I filled the remaining stuff into the grinder. And as you see, I'm repeating the same process. So the sesame seeds that you see on the table are grinding by this way. Look, there's no fat in these green beans, including olive oil. I'm putting the ground sesame seeds into the green beans as much as I want to consume at that meal. This was a dinner of mine. Normally, I don't like consuming too fatty meals at dinner. I mean, it's not about giving weight. Consuming higher fat at breakfast and lunch than decreasing it at dinner makes me feel better. Definitely it's not about giving weight. But my meal times are not regular for a long while. It was my second meal, not third. So I put more fat than usual for the dinner this time. Of course, the activity level affects the nutritional needs a lot. For example, when doing sports, both carbohydrates and fats, and of course total consumption of everything increases. Yes, I'm putting some time. You can add also cumin. You can add any spice that you want. It's up to you. I kept it plain here. Yeah, I'll consume some rice with this meal. I'll tell you how I prepare the rice later. For now, I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. But as a summary, I cooked this rice without fat and salt like the green beans. This may sound surprising again, but when we think about the same reasons, it's very sensible. I mean, it's a necessity for many people. Plus, it's a very good eating method for those who get used to consuming it this way. When I was living physically more active, I used to eat half of this saucepan size of rice in just one meal, but nowadays I eat quarter of it. I poured some black pepper on top of the rice, but again, it's up to you. You can also pour it on the green beans, or if you don't like black pepper, just don't use it. Now I'm mixing the green beans that I added the sesame seeds and thyme. These ground sesame seeds are sucking the water of the green beans and it will have a good consistency. As you see, it became like this. And let's see what else I'm eating on this dinner menu. I have some melon. I usually eat fruits between 30 to 60 minutes before the main meals like rice and beans. They are watery, so they make me feel like I'm full for a short while. That's why I prefer to wait a few minutes after eating fruits. I mean, if I'll eat abundant amount of fruits, I like to consume it this way, but if the fruit amount is a little bit, I like to prefer eating them together. Yeah, what about this one? Artichoke. Honestly, this is not something that I eat so often. Normally, I prefer to cut and clean the artichokes myself. Right after this process, I eat them directly. I mean, normally, I don't buy artichokes cut and cleaned. But these were sent to me as a gift. I brought them from the freezer, so that's why top of it looks brown. Otherwise, I normally eat them right after the cutting and cleaning process, like a pre-meal with fruits. I squeezed a lemon to the artichokes and put the garlic beside them. Look, I'm pouring the lemon juice from top of the artichokes to the green beans. Again, it's up to you. You can replace it with unripe grape syrup or pomegranate syrup. I think they taste good and compatible with especially ground sesame seeds on these kind of meals. And again, I covered it with the cling film. So that is waiting here for just showing to you. So as I said earlier, normally I cut and clean it myself and eat it right after this process. Look, after pouring the lemon juice on the green beans, I mixed the meal well enough. So ground sesame seeds and spices became homogeneous in the meal. As you see, I put a spoon of this meal to top of the rice. You can eat them mixed or separately. Of course, these are up to the consumer's preference. As you see, it's a quite plain and pretty meal. Now, olive oil fanatics will say, I can't do without olive oil. I mean, it tastes good for the people who get used to eat whole food menus like this. But some people may still search for olive oil. They can decrease the sesame seeds amount as 1 tablespoon or 2 dessert spoons, then add just 1 tablespoon of olive oil, so they can get the same calories rather than using 4 or 5 tablespoons of olive oil totally. So with these methods, they can decrease the olive oil amount and they can adapt to this step by step. As you see, these meals are prepared with whole foods. I mean, we prepared them without any pressed oil. I'll also show you different stuff later. Now, okay, what's the point of this? It seems like there are not so much things. When you visit the recipe sites or channels, probably you are seeing quite ostentatious stuff like blah blah sauce, something is flowing from there, fantastic photos and everything. You came here, there are some different sounds. Of course, here are also some likes and followers. But I mean, all these things that I've done seem so much plain when you compare to those channels. So why? Why I am doing this way? Dear friends, I don't know how much informed you are about this topic, but if you check what celiac patients consume from market sections and packaged foods, I mean, from those to gluten-free cafes and restaurants' contents, when you check them, you can notice a strange thing. I mean, the people who are not informed about this topic may even think like, celiac patients have so good conditions. They have so many things. They seem like they are bored from excessive options and fantastic conditions. So, they are searching for extraordinary stuff. They are doing some extraordinary desserts from the grains that we never heard before. For example, here, during a feast period, they are doing gluten-free baklavas and similar things. It seems like there is everything for them, and they started to search for baklava and other desserts. They have such good conditions. They get bored from having everything. And it's time for baklava and blah blah dessert. What else? There is a bread. A kilogram price is 25 liras. There are such a different ingredients in it. By the way, the price was from a few years ago. I don't know how it's today's price. Probably even higher. Honestly, I'm not even checking the prices now. I don't want to be pessimistic. This price is much higher than regular price for here. But the people who are informed about this topic may think like, many of these patients are affording a lot of basic needs hardly in their routine lives. Usually they have also sensitive body structures. Many of them are sensitive to also other things like dairy products, so it's not just about gluten. Other allergens should be minimized too. If the people want, they should be able to prefer lactose-free and dairy-free products easily. Plus other preferences, but these are very rare. There are spur images, ostentation, high prices. But if you ask me, primarily, there should be more minimal and basic things. Why they are doing this way? Maybe lack of requests or information? Many people, especially celiac patients, have an imperative situation. They shouldn't consume the foods that includes gluten, even if it contains just trace amounts of it. That's why many packages has warnings like, it contains trace amounts of gluten. So when people have no options, they can eat the things that they don't really like to prefer, even the content is very bad or tasteless. If they were not ill, in normal conditions, probably they won't even think about eating those kind of products. As I said earlier, because of the imperative situation, they can eat it for just eating something or they stay hungry. As you see, these things that I did here may look so simple to you. But if even just those meals that I did here was routinely available, my life will change a lot. By the way, about the rice, for those who don't know, they may ask curiously like, why eating rice at random restaurants is not suitable for celiacs. Even though rice is naturally gluten-free, it can come into contact with wheat, barley and rye during the growing, harvesting and manufacturing process. Because of this situation, cross-contamination may occur. So celiacs must eat gluten-free labeled rice, plus the kitchen in home or restaurants must be without any cross-contamination risks. I just gave this information for those who didn't know it before. So, we can continue from where we left off. I think there may be more beneficial, sustainable and practical alternatives than many products made for years. I just showed you something very simple here. I kept it short. I don't think many companies' mindset will change easily in a short time. And I don't think those kind of things will be safely available in everywhere in a short time too. It will take time. When it comes to me, maybe I can't publish the videos frequently yet, but I'll try my best. In this video you saw just a simple way of serving. You just give a chance to consume foods separately with that. As I said earlier, it's for everyone, from different illnesses. They can eat together. Of course, there are much harder limitations for some people. For them, there should be more conveniences. Anyway, I don't want to make this video longer. We'll talk about these topics with the details later. For now, I just did a short entering speech for some stuff. Thank you to everyone who has already subscribed to my channel. Perhaps you can't see my new videos because I can't publish the videos frequently yet. You can click the link beside the subscribe button and select all for the notifications if you don't want to miss the new videos. Then, when I publish a new video, you'll see the notification, so you won't miss my videos. If you watched the video until here and liked it, please click the like button, so I understand you watched it. And of course, you can write your comments down below. I'll see you in the next video. Keep following. Bye!